morning, traders. I'm Emily Bonney, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Monday, May 20th. This morning, investors shift from economic focus last week to some big name earnings and Fed speak coming this week. On Friday, stocks ended in mixed territory. The Dow broke through the 40,000 point benchmark for the first time ever, adding 134 points or 0.34%. The S&P 500 clocked a slight gain, picking up 6 points or 0.12%. The Nasdaq closed the session in the red, shedding just 12 points or 0.07%. Bill, let's get into Monday and a new week with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Hi, yes, good morning, Emily. I'm watching the S&Ps. We're up 0.18%, almost 0.2% this morning. That's positive as we walk into the day. I mean, there's no real economic numbers coming out today. It's kind of light on the calendar, but there's a ton of Fed speak this morning. The Fed speakers are really out in force this morning, and listen, they're going to likely to underscore the current narrative of rates need to remain higher for longer. And then, of course, you get Wednesday when you get the Fed meeting minutes being released. Remember, the recent inflation data that just came out. So prior to that, they were very negative. So I mean, I think this is gonna be a very hawkish meeting minutes when they're released on Wednesday. In company news, I see there's a rumor out there that Apple's going to be added some OpenAI tech to their new operating system, that iOS 18. Now that iOS 18 is expected to be announced at next month's June 10th Apple conference. So keep an eye on that. But they're going to be doing some OpenAI tech to that build. What else do I see? Elliott Partners, they're said to be built a $1 billion stake in Johnson Controls, ticker JCI, John Charlie India. There's a host of retail earnings this week. Plus, today we got results from Palo Alto Networks. Wednesday we got Snowflake, and of course Wednesday the really big one is NVDA, ticker NVDA. What else do I see? Jerome Powell, I see that it was tested positive for COVID. Okay, I don't think that changes anything. In terms of a markets check, we're looking at Europe. We're looking at the DAX. The DAX is up 83 points or 0.45%. We're looking at the FTSE. It's up 17.69%. That's up 0.21%. And then keeping an eye on the CAC in Paris. It's up 42 points or 0.52%. We're seeing strength in luxury, and luxury is like tech here in the U.S. for France. So, you should expect to see France trading a little higher. Industrials are trading well in Europe. So that's good. But, they're really focused on that ECB meeting that's coming up next month, where they appear likely to be doing a rate cut. But honestly, it's going to be one and done. They're going to do one rate cut, then they're going to kind of wait and see. Then we're keeping an eye on what's happened in Asia last night. We're looking at the Nikkei. The Nikkei jumped 282 points or 0.73%. Then the Hang Seng jumped 82 points or 0.42%, and Shanghai and China jumped 17 points or 0.54%. Now in Japan, you got to realize that the BOJ really feels that it's time to do a rate hike, and that rate hike should be accelerated. So we can see a rate hike coming, this summer from the Bank of Japan. Hong Kong and China, they're still reacting to the positive stimulus news about the local governments needing to buy homes from home builders. That's very positive for those markets. PBOC over the weekend, China Central Bank held ranks steady. To keeping an eye on oil. Oil's interesting because oil was trading higher this morning. Now it's lower. We're looking at WTI's at $79.70 a barrel. It's under 80. That's down 0.36%. We're talking Brent is at $83.76. That's down 0.26%. There's a lot of news out there, in the Middle East today. I mean, the Iranian president died in a helicopter crash. Of course, the Saudi Arabia's king is undergoing some surgery and canceled his visit to Tokyo. Those aren't events that are really going to be affecting oil prices today. But oil has turned a little lower. It is lower on the day today. There are events going on in Gaza, but the Gaza situation really has been creating limited amounts of volatility. But oil really hasn't had a run like the other commodities. I mean, like copper prices and gold. I mean, I remember, market legend once told me that, copper prices tend to move higher going into economic expansion periods. And you look at copper, and that's what's happening. So we got to keep an eye on that. But that's really what I have for you for my morning's markets check, Emily.
Bill, there's a number of things that you mentioned in there that we'll be diving into today. Of course, you pointed out some market moving type news that are coming out of different corporations. You did mention some big name earnings that are coming out and a host of Fed speak. And we're going to be diving into the details here throughout today's show. We're going to first start with earnings action. Bill, give us a rundown of what we should be watching there.
No significant earnings came out this morning, but this afternoon we got a number of ones to watch. We got Zoom Video, ticker ZM, Zebra Michael. Their EPS is $1.19. The expected move here is 8.96%. Then you got Keysight Technology. That's Keys, Kilo, Edward, Yellow, Sam. EPS is $1.38. Expected move is 8.01%. Then you got Trip.com, ticker TCOM, Tom, Charlie, Oscar, Mary. Their EPS is 62 cents, and the expected move is 9.63%. Then you have Palo Alto Networks. That's ticker PANW, Paul, Apple, Nancy, William. Their EPS is $1.25, and the expected move after their release is 10.27%, Emily.
And Bill, along with all of that, you'll be watching, also did mention a bunch of Fed speak, Fed meeting minutes coming out later this week, but today, a lot in the Fed official circuit. So give us a look at what we should be watching when it comes to economic events.
Yeah, no real economic events are, economic indicators are coming out today. But we got a lot of Fed speak. At 8:45 a.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be hearing from Atlanta Fed Bank President Raphael Bostic. Then at 9 a.m., we're going to be hearing from Fed Vice Chairman of Supervision Michael Barr. Then at 9 a.m., we're also going to be hearing from Fed Governor Christopher Waller. 10 a.m., we are from Vice Chair Philip Jefferson. Then at 2 p.m., I see that Cleveland Fed Loretta Mester is speaking. And then at 7 p.m. to this evening, Atlanta Fed Raphael Bostic, he's going to be giving another speech. So, he'll be doing double duty today. But that's what I have for you in terms of, economic news today, Emily.
Bill, you'll be watching all of that, following that information using your NewsWare, following those earnings, also using NewsWare alerts. And you're also looking at other types of news, as you mentioned in your opening, looking at things like merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings, other catalysts. With NewsWare, you can group your stocks together, like your FANG stocks, your Dow 30 stocks, gathering all the information you need for the trading day ahead. So Bill, what else do you see as possibly moving the markets today?
I'm just kind of doing a quick data check. I got 21 higher. I got 8 lower, 1 unchanged on the day in my Dow stocks, which is that's positive. And then you look at your FANG stocks. I mean, that is down a nickel. Apple's down slightly, but the rest are higher. So I mean, we should have some green on the screen when the market opens up for the S&Ps this morning. We're talking about Apple. One of the issues with Apple is that they're slashing their iPhone prices in China amid a big competition that's going on there in the cell phone market. Tesla, listen, their shareholders are headed into a vote soon, where they're going to be voted on Musk's pay package, and they got to vote on the company's relocation plans from California to Texas. So I think the California plans of the move will definitely be approved. Musk's pay package, I don't know. The stock's not at an all-time high, and I think it needs to be at an all-time high for him to be able to get that his pay package approved. We're talking Dow Jones 30 stocks, and we're talking Apple. Apple and OpenAI are teaming up to add OpenAI technology to Apple's new operating system. Disneyland, ticker DIS, David India Sam. Their character workers at their California park have voted to unionize. And let's talk Microsoft for a second. Ticker MSMFT. They have a big AI event today. There's going to be some press releases today on this big AI event. And then tomorrow, there's the start of the Microsoft Build Conference. So you got 2 conferences back to back, and both are going to be, hooked up with a lot of AI AI reports. You look at Microsoft at 421. Yeah, it should be able to move higher from here in the next day or two. It's not surprising. These AI stories really do move stocks. They were talking mergers news going on today. CyberArk, ticker CYBR, Charlie Yellow Boy Richard. They're said to be close to a deal to buy Thomas Bravo. In terms of guidance news, Micron, let's talk Micron. Microsoft is out there and they feel that the company could deliver a positive pre-announcement. So you got to keep that. You're looking at shares of Micron this morning, and they are trading higher because of this note. I mean, the stock's up 2.34%. J.P. Morgan, I see that they raised their 2024 interest income forecast to 91 billion. Positive. In terms of shareholders meetings, JP Morgan's having an investors day today, starts at 8 a.m. Commonwealth Edison, the ED, at 10 a.m. they're going to be having their annual shareholders meeting. So, it's a couple things to keep an eye on. And then there's the catalyst call. I mean, we'll just talk about AMAT for a second. Applied Materials, Apple Michael, Apple Tom. Citibank thinks the Semicon West event could really be a catalyst event for AMAT. So you want to keep your shares on AMAT in this Semicon West event that's going on. But that's what I have for you in terms of stocks instead of stocks moving the market this morning, Emily.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. It is now that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, what do you have for us to start this week?
I'm going with ticker BZ, Boy Zebra. I'm looking at the companies that are releasing earnings, this afternoon, and there's an issue with all of them. It's like Keysight, put volumes too high on Friday. Trip.com, the open interest on the put side's too high, and same with Palo Alto Networks, the open interest put side is too high. So I'm sticking with Kanzun, which is ticker BZ, Boy Zebra. Their earnings are coming out tomorrow morning. EPS is 13 cents. The expected move is 9.79%. Now you look at yesterday's call volume, Friday's call volume. You had 352 calls versus 10 puts. So yeah, that's positive. It's very light though, but it's positive. On the open interest side, you get 26,260 calls versus 5,201 puts. So that's highly, that's more than 2 to 1. That's almost 5 to 1. So you have to kind of look at that as a positive indicator. And then you look at the major brokers. Yeah, the brokers that I see that are talking about the stock are positive on it. So that's good to see. And these guys are online recruiting, and you have to realize that unemployment is actually a little lower in China. And honestly, I want to get into this stock 2150. I think I can do it. I think 2150 is a possibility. And if I can get into stock at 2150, I think I'm going to be able to pull out a gain here of at least 1%. But that's my tick of the day. Ticker BZ, Boy Zebra, 2150, Emily.
BZ it is today. We'll watch that along with you, putting those data points together, looking for that entry point. Some of the strategy that you used on Friday's pick of the day, which we're going to do a recap on that coming up. So stick with us. But ahead of that, let's take a look at the current breaking headlines that have hit the tape in our hot off the press segment. Bill, take it away.
Ticker BMBL, that's Bumble. They're going to be requiring Geneva terms not disclosed. Interesting. I had JP Morgan stock gains and boosted by net interest income forecast. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? Target's reducing prices on like 5,000 frequently shopped items. That's kind of good for them. AstraZeneca, ticker AZN, they're planning to build a $1.5 billion manufacturing facility in Singapore. Nice. Tesla, ticker TSLA, is offering discounts to soothe European leasing firms. Norvax, hedge fund Shaw Capital, said that it's withdrawing its campaign against the re-election of 3 directors to their board. Sony Pictures and Apollo Global have signed a non-disclosure agreement that will allow them to look at Paramount's books ahead of a potential bid for the movie studios. Ooh, that's interesting. That's Paramount Global, ticker PARA, Paul Apple, Richard Apple. That's all I'm seeing this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we dive into trading this week, let's do that check-in on Friday's pick of the day, which was Advanced Micro Devices, ticker AMD. You did make this pick following the news that Microsoft will begin offering AMD chips, which was positive news for the stock. I also caught a news article about the stock that did mention that the price of the stock has grown 484% in the last 5 years, noting that if you had invested $10,000 in AMD 5 years ago, today it would be $58,400. That's quite the jump. How did your call work out on Friday? Did you get a gain there?
Yeah, it worked out well. I mean, listen, the stock opened up at 168.43, and I was very clear. I was like, listen, don't pay up for the stock. You want to wait for the weakness to set in. And sure enough, it did. I mean, it fell all the way down to 162.32, and it closed at 164.47. Now, I had called a 163 and a half entry price, and if you look at the stock now, it's 165 and a half. So yeah, that 1% was definitely there. I went long at 165.28 and I closed out at 166.95. It's just a 1% gain. I'll take it. I mean, I think I saw like what a stock turnaround and I thought the opportunity was there, so I grabbed it. But 163 and a half was my entry point, and even from there, the 1% gain was there. So AMD winner all around, Emily, winner all around.
Bill, a nice call there. And we will check in with you tomorrow about today's BZ pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow and each weekday morning this week at NewsWare's Trade Talk, when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Bonney, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.